Hey y'all, and welcome to PolitiBrawl. My name is Brian, and every now and then we need a reminder. And well, she came at the king, and she's about to swing and really miss.
You keep defining abortion as the murder of babies, which biological fact is you would say most abortions are done before they are actually babies. It's still just a fetus. So
do you know what the word fetus means?
It's just a cluster, a
That's
zygote developing
means.
into a baby eventually.
The word fetus, it's a Latin word, and it just means offspring. That's all it means. It just means the next generation of a being. So, but that's what a baby is also. I mean, that's what you would call your adult child someday once he's grown, hopefully if he hasn't been murdered.
Can I ask my question?
Well, I'm just like to clarify this point. You would call your adult child your offspring too, but all of these terms that you might use, fetus, embryo, the one they love is zygote, which sounds like a Pokemon, but they use all these different terms, but it's all referring to the same being, and you were that being once. You, the person who's standing here right now.
Do any of us have a memory of being that being?
Oh, I mean, I don't have a memory of last Thursday, frankly. It's been a very busy week, but the lack of a memory doesn't mean that it's all right to murder me.
Well, anyways, my question is, you stress murdering babies a lot, but when it comes to murdering babies, kids, and everything in everyday shootings that keep happening, you say nothing. So I ask, why is it okay to murder babies when it's regulating women but not regulating guns?
No, I say quite a lot about that, actually. I think the crime is a terrible problem, and I think it's just awful that liberals have funded and intentionally installed liberal DAs who won't prosecute violent criminals. This has led to an increase in violent crime, and it's awful. I totally oppose that. But it's not me, and it's not my side that's funding that sort of thing. Now, you say, why wouldn't I want to regulate guns? Guns are very regulated in the United States as it is. And I've yet to hear one gun control proposal that would stop any of these shooting incidents that people talk about. People focus on the sensationalized ones from the news, a school shooting or a movie theater shooting. No proposed gun control legislation of the last 30 years would have stopped any of those. And the majority of the shootings are gang-related, and they're handgun shootings. And so I'm all for cracking down on those gangs and throwing them all in the can, but it's usually the liberals telling me that we have to abolish the police and go soft on crime, and they were just failed by society, and so we can't put them in prison, and we have to abolish the prisons too.
Saying one thing can just contradict the other thing.
How do you think I've done that?
By saying you're murdering babies, blah, 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 just over and over again, but just not mentioning any of the babies being murdered every single day in shootings that haven't even made it to major news outlets because they're so common.
No, well, that wouldn't be a contradiction or a hypocrisy or anything. I'm focusing on one particular issue called abortion, but I actually mentioned in the speech tonight that specifically on the issue of black people being murdered, 10,000 black people are murdered every year with guns and knives and hammers and the like, but 242,000 black people at the very least are murdered through abortion. So that would seem to be a more pressing issue.
Y'all, dunking on short people is not going to put you up on a poster. It's an easy thing to do. I am very easy to dunk on. But this chick... Wait a minute. I've seen this girl before. She's the one that yelled at President Trump, put her hands on her hips with all that sass, and refused to accept the answer that he gave her. This woman has been basically thrown into the fire twice and hasn't learned her lesson, and that's a huge problem. First off, there's her body language. Twirling her hair nervously, because there's two reasons, technically three reasons that girls twirl around with their hair. One, they're nervous. Two, they're flirting. Or three, they're angry and need something as a control mechanism in order to keep the anger from exploding. It's number three in her case. This girl is filled to the gills with self-righteousness, with the belief that fundamentally can be summed up in a simple word: anti-life. Hey y'all, I just wanted to give a shout out to my friends over at Colonial Metals Group. Their experts understand exactly what they're doing with gold, silver, and other precious metals, unlike our current leadership, which is giving us rampant inflation, terrible Federal Reserve policies, a president that doesn't know what planet he's on, and of course, an out-of-control Congress that won't stop spending. We have to figure out ways to keep our wealth safe. And the best way to do that is to go over to my friends at Colonial Metals Group, because their experts can help you diversify your portfolio, and they've got an amazing offer for first-time accounts. Free gold and silver IRA accounts, insured storage for 5 years, up to $7,500 in silver delivered directly to your home, and a safe to keep all that stuff in. So go over regardless and see what they can do for you and protect your wealth and your future today. Now, back to regularly scheduled programming. This woman effectively serves Darkseid, all right, the villain from DC, the ultimate villain, who wants to bend the entire galaxy, universe even, to his will through something that he calls the anti-life equation. So why is that important? What does that have to do with actual life? This is the difference between the concepts of good and evil. And this is why Christianity gets it right more than anything else. The whole idea that the satanic is chaos and God is order. And I want to reference that specifically because order requires discipline, usually self-discipline. And in this mental case, it means the ability to think properly, but also understand the basic truths that are going on. This girl thinks of chaos as a good thing. If you see chaos as freedom, then you have a fundamental problem because you are believing in evil. And unfortunately, there is a kernel of truth to that. She is believing in something that says that your rights matter and that that good and evil don't really exist. Instead of looking at that as a tragic option to destroy life that you've created, that is a fundamental evil in our society. It's why I'm so against abortion. And unfortunately, because of political realities, the best shot we're going to get is a 6-week heartbeat bill. That's why I loved my state senator from Georgia, Ed Setzler, so much. He wrote that bill, and it was so flawless that it held up in court, when so many other anti-abortion measures get struck down time and time again. His was airtight. And she is ultimately believing in a world where your freedom matters more than your rights, which is weird because she thinks her rights are what give her the freedom. No, it's backwards in this case. Instead of thinking of what is good for people, you are asking how free do you want to be? Because ultimate freedom really is chaotic. Her policies of soft on crime police tactics and anti-life in believing in a rampant abortion has led to the deaths of millions and has had left suffering even more millions. I don't like saying it because I'm right. I don't like saying it because it evokes such a visceral reaction and it makes people just shy away from it. But that is the truth. The left wants chaos. They want this disorder because they think that's where freedom truly lies. That's the theology of Satan. That is satanic by nature. And again, I don't like calling things that are demonic or satanic. Because again, it just evokes this weird image that might not fully be the truth and something that not everyone can respect and understand. So I am forced to use different language here. But that different language, y'all, is the difference between understanding the truth, that what is good and moral requires discipline, and asking yourself what is good for my neighbor, what is good for myself. Whether the question of freedom is how much chaos do I have to bring into order. If you approach your freedoms like that, you will be able to control and then put away the darkness. I know I'm getting unusually theological, but I feel that's the best way to describe what's going on here. She believes in anti-life. She doesn't believe in life. She doesn't believe in the discipline and the order. And that leads to nothing but chaos and destruction in its wake. This girl, unfortunately, embraces the chaos and chooses the bear in the woods instead of the man. This is a huge, huge problem that we haven't really come to grips with yet. Folks, my name is Brian. Hope you enjoyed this segment here on PolitiBrawl. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one, and until then, y'all have a good one.